You've probably heard that 8 out of 10 businesses don't stand the test of time and they go bankrupt. But why does this happen so often? Why do approximately 80% of businesses not last more than 4 years? Let's look at the example of Daisy. Daisy works in a cupcake store where she's responsible for making and baking them every day, and everyone praised her frostings and decorations. She enjoys what she does, but after working here for more than 6 years and fully mastering the art of baking like no one, she wonders,
why not open my own cupcakes shop? My boss doesn't even know how to make cupcakes or anything about baking, yet he's the one who takes most of the profits. And my cupcakes are so good that everyone said I should open my own shop.
Daisy thought. So one day, Daisy resigns and, with a loan from the bank, opens her own shop, Daisy's Bites. Unfortunately, her enthusiasm is tested within a few days. Because before, Daisy dedicated all her work time to making cupcakes, and now in addition to baking them, she also has other urgent activities. Attending to customers, even slow or complicated ones, managing payments and phone orders, ensuring there's enough change in the register box, and handling the accounting, including tax payments. Clean the store, not only the kitchen, promoting her business and handling social media. Some of these tasks are new and complicated for Daisy, like the accounting part, and she also doesn't enjoy doing them. She wants to make cupcakes. When she imagined all this, she pictured herself creating new flavors and decorations. Now she's realizing that she never considered things like the price of ingredients. Also, without mastering all the other tasks, the business is going downhill, and at this point, she doesn't have anyone to help her. Soon, Daisy feels exhausted and stressed from being in charge of everything. Her health is taking a hit, and she barely has time for a social life, but she has to continue working, even when she doesn't feel well. When Daisy, with her amazing cupcake skills, decides to open her own shop thinking it'll be a piece of cake, pun intended, she envisioned herself as the queen of cupcakes, bringing all her delicious ideas to life. But it seems that this isn't enough to have a thriving business. Her friends react with surprise when they hear about her business not going well. They have visited the store a few times, and all the cupcakes they received for free were delicious. They know that she is working harder than ever. She never hangs out because she's always busy with her business. Furthermore, they said that she should rest and maybe even take a vacation. Daisy is an example of a technician who has fallen into entrepreneurial seizure. What is this about? The excitement of independence and working without a boss hovering over us often doesn't let us see what it really means to work for ourselves. In the traditional 9 to 5, there's usually someone telling you what to do. But when you're the boss, suddenly you're responsible for everything, and those dreams of freedom turn out to be an infinite pile of decisions and obligations. The technician mistakenly believes that because they know how to do a job, whether it's baking, graphic design, fixing computers, or another skill, they can turn that ability into a business that frees them from the boss. The baker opens a bakery. The graphic designer starts a graphic design studio. The computer technician opens a workshop. But instead of freeing themselves from the boss, they've become their own boss, a more demanding one, who makes them work much harder than before. Make sure to tap that subscribe button to continue receiving stories as eye-opening as this one, along with some juicy business and money secrets. Join us to learn how to avoid common pitfalls and break free from the rat race. Before continuing with Daisy's story, we need to understand that every person who starts a business on their own is several people in one, and among all these people, they are 3 fundamental characters: an entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician. An entrepreneur is the part of us that has a vision, dreams, and turns something fleeting like ideas into an excellent opportunity. An entrepreneur lives in the future. They feel the need for change. The more exceptional their idea, the more effort they put into realizing it. Their problem is that they do it without considering the cost. By pursuing dreams, they're separated from reality. On the other hand, the manager likes things predictable, likes to plan and have everything in order. If the entrepreneur lives in the future, the manager lives in the past. They enjoy analyzing things that have already happened and drawing conclusions based on them. And the technician knows how to do their job, and instead of thinking about the future or spending hours organizing things, they prefer to do the work and enjoy the results. Therefore, technicians often find themselves working for someone else. We all have a bit of each, but mostly the technician prevails. For example, it may be that we are 80% the technician who enjoys doing the work, 5% the manager who likes organizing things, and 15% the entrepreneur who plans and thinks about the future. Just as there are 3 characters, the business also has 3 stages. In Daisy's example, we can see the infancy stage where one person does everything alone as a solopreneur. They have a business, but instead of working 8 hours, they work 14 or more hours a day and never complete the endless task. It's like bailing water from a sinking boat with just a mug. At this stage, you soon realize that you're burning out, and if you want to move forward, you'll need to hire someone to help you. For example, after a few months of not resting a single day, having problems sleeping, and making mistakes with orders due to sleep deprivation, Daisy hired someone to handle the cleaning for her company.
I'm feeling incredibly overwhelmed with the sheer amount of tasks on my plate. If I don't get some assistance soon, I'm afraid I'll reach a breaking point and won't be able to keep up with everything.
She hired Louisa, and when Louisa took care of the cleaning duties, Daisy felt relieved since it was a big fiscal part of her daily routine and a lot of time too. Louisa was meticulous and worked really well. Daisy felt hopeful, and she hires Mark to run the numbers. Mark doesn't turn out so well. He was lazy and clumsy, but as Daisy is not good with accountability and hasn't the time to check either, she didn't realize until a hefty IRS penalty for tax irregularities. That tragically happens a lot in business. She found another employee, Vincent, who took this responsibility and some more. She felt really relief and started dedicating more time to what she likes, making cupcakes. The business grows, and soon they hire a third person who helps with the business promotion and handles social media. Daisy finally gets to make those amazing flavors and frosting novelties. She feels comfortable in the technician position and doesn't realize that she's losing control of many things happening outside the kitchen of her business. She's not actively managing it. She leaves it to Vincent, and although there are things she doesn't know or understand, she trusts that Vincent is doing it right. While she continues baking cupcakes, her business grows in employees and enters the adolescent stage. Daisy's mistake's name is managing by abdication. In Daisy's case, in the adolescent stage, one of the following 3 scenarios can happen. After a while, she notices that the business is facing a recurring problem. For example, Daisy receives complaints about cupcake deliveries, with customers reporting that the cupcakes arrive squashed. Additionally, she notices a few negative reviews on the food delivery app where her business is listed. Moreover, the bank contacts her to report discrepancies in the numbers, indicating potential issues with the accounting once again. First scenario. Then the problems start, and Daisy lists everything that other people do wrong in her company. She reviews all the issues, finds several inaccuracies, and tries to improve them. Finally, she comes to the conclusion that Vincent and the others don't know how to do their job, as well as she thought. She loses trust in her people, especially having a previous bad experience with Mark, and starts to think it was better when she was alone because she did the things in her way and then no one complained about her work. She fires the employees, or even if she doesn't, they leave on their own or start to perform worse due to the pressure. And Daisy starts to micromanage all the tasks or tries to do them herself. That process is really tiring for Daisy as well. Sometimes it's easier for her to make things herself than pursuing everyone to do things right. Even Louisa has gradually been neglecting her work, and she no longer cleans so well. Daisy's business returns to infancy, the point where she started. Second scenario, the business goes bankrupt all at once. For Daisy, this would happen if her store's expenses spiral out of control before she reacts. In her example, she focused so much on creating incredible flavors that she didn't realize that the imported exotic ingredients, the best butter, and the time spent adding fondant figurines, combined with the production and business costs, make them almost more expensive to produce than the selling price at some point while she is still trying to pay her loan. In real life, this happens especially with innovative businesses, like tech companies. Someone starts a business and tries to grow it as fast as possible without worrying about the expenses it generates. The idea is that one day the business will be worth a lot and the owner will sell it. But along the way, something gets out of control. There are so many employees and the fixed costs are so high that the company can't sustain itself and goes bankrupt. Third scenario, the business survives. And this is the most tragic of all scenarios. In Daisy's example, it would mean that she continues to fix all the screw-ups of her employees. And although she doesn't have control over everything that happens, the business survives. She currently works not 14 but 16 hours a day. She makes every effort to keep herself afloat. We can work like this for a few months, maybe a couple of years, but then we feel lifeless without strength and desire to continue. No time for family or friends, no much money in her pockets at the end of the month, regardless of all that effort. It's like there's a 6-cylinder engine, but only one cylinder is working effectively. It just can't. The cylinder will explode at any moment. We lose health, energy, and also the business. These are the reasons why approximately 8 out of 10 businesses go bankrupt. Does this resonate with you? Have you personally experienced these challenges, or do you know someone who has been through something similar? Are small entrepreneurs often misunderstood? The typical advice to start your own business and chase your dreams often carries its own share of difficulties and sacrifices. But there's a totally different way to start a business than how Daisy did it and how technicians do it. There's a better path that anyone can follow, a path to maturity that we'll explore in one of our future videos. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out. Thanks for tuning in. If you found this video insightful, make sure to tap that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest content. Remember, knowledge is power, and by staying informed and curious, you're empowering yourself to navigate the world of business and finance more effectively. Keep exploring, keep learning, and keep striving for your goals. Until next time, take care and farewell.